False worship will be judged. Therefore, you shall speak this word to them. This is the nation that heard not the voice of the Lord, nor received correction. Faith has perished from their mouth. Cut off your hair and cast it away. Take up a lamentation on your lips. For the Lord has rejected and repudiated the generation that does these things. For the sons of Judah did the evil thing in my sight, says the Lord. They set their abominations in the house called by my name, to defile it. They also built the altar of Tophet in the valley of the son of Hinnom to burn their sons and daughters in the fire, which I did not command them, nor consider in my heart. Behold, the days are coming, says the Lord, when they will no longer say the altar of Tophet or the valley of the son of Hinnom, but instead the valley of the slain, and they will be buried in Tophet, for there is no place. The dead of this people will also be food for the birds of heaven and the wild beasts of the land. No one will scare them away. I shall cause to cease the glad and joyful voice, the voice of the bridegroom and the bride from the cities of Judah and the thoroughfares of Jerusalem, for the whole land shall be desolate. The relics are an example. At that time, says the Lord, they shall bring out of their graves the bones of the kings of Judah and its rulers, the bones of the priests and the prophets, and the bones of the inhabitants of Jerusalem. They shall dry them before the sun and the moon, and before all the stars in the host of heaven, which they loved and served, and after which they walked, devoted themselves, and worshipped. They are not to be mourned, nor buried, but they are to be an example on the face of the earth, because they chose death rather than life. They are also to be an example to all the remnant left from that generation in every place wherever I banish them. False teaching will be judged. For thus says the Lord, will not he who falls arise, or he who turns away, will he not return? Why therefore has this my people turned away from me in a shameful way, strengthened themselves in their choice, and were not willing to return? Indeed, give ear and listen. Will they not speak thus? There is no man who repents of his vices, saying, what have I done? The runner ceases to run his race, as a sweating horse ceases to run when he is tired. Even the stork in the sky knows her appointed time, as do the turtle dove and the swallow of the field. The sparrows watch for the times of their coming, but my people do not know the judgments of the Lord. How can you say we are wise, the the law of the Lord is with us? The lying pen becomes vanity for scribes. Wise men are put to shame and convicted, for they rejected the word of the Lord. What wisdom is in them? I will give their wives and fields to others as an inheritance. They will gather together their fruits. There are no grapes on the vines, nor figs on the fig trees, and the leaves have fallen off. They will say, why do we sit still? Assemble yourselves, and let us enter the strong cities. Let us be rejected, for God has cast us out, given us gall to drink, because we sinned against him. Let us come together for peace. But there was nothing good, and for a time of healing, but behold, trouble. We will hear the swift sound of his horses coming from Dan. The whole land quakes from the neighing of his horse-drawn chariots. He will come and devour the land and its fullness, the city and those who dwell in it. For behold, I send forth lethal serpents among you, for which there are no charms. They shall bite you mortally with the pain of your disturbed heart. Jeremiah weeps for his people. Behold, the voice of the daughter of my people cries out from a far land. Is it not the Lord in Zion? Is her king not there? No, because they provoked me to anger with their carved images and foreign vanities. They will say, the summer is gone, the harvest is past, and we are not saved. I am saddened because of the ruin of the daughter of my people. Pains have seized me as one who gives birth. Is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no physician? Why is no healing taking place for the daughter of my people? Who will give water to my head and a fountain of tears to my eyes, that I might weep day and night for this people of mine, for wounded of the daughter of my people? Who will give me lodging in a deserted place, that I might leave my people and depart from them? For they are all adulterers, an assembly of treacherous men. They bent their tongues like a bow. Falsehood, not faith, prevails in the land. For they went from evil to evil and have not known me. Let each take heed to his neighbor and not trust their brothers. For every brother will utterly deceive, and every friend will walk treacherously. Each will mock at his friend and not speak their tongue, or not speak the truth. Their tongue learns to speak lies, and they do wrong. They do not pause to turn back. There is usury upon usury, deceit upon deceit. They are unwilling to know me. Therefore, thus says the Lord, behold, I will set them on fire and test them. I shall do so because of the evil of the daughter of my people. Their tongue is a wounding arrow, and the words of their mouth are deceitful. One speaks peaceably to his neighbor, but has hatred in his heart. Shall I not visit them for these things, says the Lord? Shall not my soul take vengeance on such a people as this? Take up a wailing on the mountains and a lamentation on the pass of the desert. For they cease from being a people. They do not hear the sound of existence from the birds of the sky, nor even from the cattle. They were astonished. They were gone. I will put Jerusalem into captivity, and it will become a dwelling place of serpents. I will make the cities of Judah desolate beyond habitation. Who is a wise man? Let him understand this. Let him declare to you by the word of the Lord to him why the land was ravaged by fire and became like a desert. No one could pass through. The Lord answered me, because they forsook my law, which I set before their face, and they did not hear my voice. Instead, they walked after what pleased their evil heart, and after the idols their fathers taught them. Therefore, thus says the Lord God of Israel, behold, I will feed them as a matter of necessity, and give them the water of bitterness to drink. I will also scatter them among the Gentiles, amongst whom neither they nor their fathers are known. I shall send a sword after them until I consume them with it. Notes from the previous page. 7:10. Jesus cited this verse when cleansing the temple. Matthew 21:13. Suggesting that while in Jeremiah's day the question of the temple being a den of robbers was preposterous, by Christ's time it was a sad fact. 7:17. Cake dough. The Hebrew word shavan is transliterated into Greek. These were sweetbreads dedicated to pagan gods, the host of heaven. 7:21-22. The Lord highlights their obedience as more important than adhering to the letter of the command. 7:30. Tophet, the place where children were being sacrificed to Moloch. 4 Kings 23:10. The sad end of this child sacrifice will be cannibalism, effected during the siege of Jerusalem, in Barak 2:3. 7:32. The places of pagan sacrifice are prophesied to become a killing field. 8:1-2. The desecration of the graves of the patriarchs and kings was executed by the Babylonians. The drying here refers to the heat of the sun. Although the saints whose bones were exposed were no way to be worshipped, God desired that their exposure to the elements would finally convince Israel of her error. 8:8. These are apparently popular sayings, widespread among the people. 8:12. Gall to drink. Unsanitary water, the only kind to be had then in the city. While this was a proper corrective response to Israel's sin, they went far beyond this later in time by giving Christ, who knew no sin, wine mingled with gall. Matthew 27:34. 8:17. Vanities is another term for idols. 8:18. The season of the siege carried through the summer not only match well with the chronology of the Babylonian invasion, probably that of 597, but highlight how devastating a siege can be. No crops could be grown and harvested that year, while all the inhabitants of the greater territory crowded into the city walls to be saved from the terror.